same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy. But maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Darkest memories now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. What do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. What's on the other side of inhibition? Ooh, how do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so cool.
But now that I'm gone, you want me back. Yeah, I gave quick to hit ignore. Buku bitches in my bed. I got scales all on my floor. I got money on the line, plus I'm clocking it galore. I got bitches kissing bitches, all them bitches go explore. I'm feeling way up. I stay up. Put your bitch on my Snapchat while I make her. She want a chance with me, cause she know I'm a rapper. I give a but I never get feelings, cause shawty, I know what you after. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. Watch I look, I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand in my putting. Put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poopy, your bitch get tookin'. I'm not the type to go fuck with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando. From the ceiling fan to the damn floor. Trying to stack my money up, cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay. See the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel it, now I feel it. Your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel it.
Too cold, standing in the middle of the downpour. Looking in the mirror 'cause it's all
Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel for our Manchester City live commentary today. Alternative commentary on FA Cup action, Manchester City taking on local side really and nearly Premier League side Burnley, managed by City's legend that is Vincent Kompany. We've got a lot of people here in the chat as usual, which is great to see. New We Are City bronze member Tamash, welcome to the We Are City Bronze Club. Tamash, it's going to be great to have you joining the club and you know, paying the 99p a month to have just a little bit of the extra stuff here on the channel. That does mean access to all the We Are City content, including the City FC career mode. And also, we've got Red-Eye here, we've got Ashton here, we've got MK here as well. So great to have you all here. What do you guys think about Vincent Kompany's return to the Etihad Stadium? Do you think that Vincent Kompany is going to come out on top here? I think it's going to be a pretty odd one for Vincent Kompany, don't you? To come here and play against Manchester City. I think he's not really going to be sure how things go for him, really, are they? You know, he's playing against the club, or he's managing against the club that he loves in Vincent Kompany, and that makes it very, very difficult for him, I'm sure. But he was speaking before the game there, and he was talking about how competitive he actually is, and that is something that I was just listening to then. Pep Guardiola was on as well. Pep Guardiola just said, you know, every player wants to play because Erling Haaland is in there for Manchester City today. City makes 7 changes from that 7-0 win against RB Leipzig in the midweek, which was an absolutely brilliant game. So we'll run through the Manchester City side and then the Burnley side as well. Stefan Ortega starts in goal for Manchester City. Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Aymeric Laporte and young Rico Lewis make up a back 4. It's Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield 2, and then a front 4 in whatever formation you want to say, whether it's a 4-2-2, or is it, you know, the Grealish in behind Haaland, Grealish alongside Haaland. It is, not Grealish, sorry, Alvarez and Haaland in there with Mahrez and Phil Foden. So we'll have to see how that goes. Have you problems with the chat again? I don't think so, Ashton. I think you can see your chat this time. Whenever I start a live stream, it tends to be I can't see all the people that do comment for whatever reason. Fire says, hello everyone, hopefully you're all good and having a great weekend. Thank you, yet. I am having a good weekend, and hopefully the weekend gets better with the Manchester City win. City have the likes of Edison on the bench today. I think the big surprise in the starting 11 for City, really, is Calvin Phillips. I think that is the big one. I expected Phillips to start today, and the fact that Pep Guardiola once again hasn't picked Phillips in a City starting 11 sort of says that he's not ready for Manchester City. I don't think Calvin Phillips will ever be ready. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Calvin Phillips leave the club. Let's have a look at City and Burnley alongside each other, because this is the Burnley side today. Zauri and Tell are just some of the players in this Burnley side. Goodmanson, Cullen in there as well. Vitinho on that right-hand side, we think, or it could be a back 5. Vitinho has played as a full-back for a lot of the time at Burnley. Foster starts up top. Peacock, Farrell in goal. Then a back 4 of Roberts from a Welsh international. Play for Swansea City in the Premier League. And for Burnley, of course. Alderkill, Bayer, who's on loan, who's looking very good, the German. And Ian Matson on loan from Chelsea, the back. They've had quite a lot of players on loan, Burnley, actually. And that is interesting. Will they play a 4-4-2? Will they play a 4-5-1? Will they play a 4-2-3-1? We're not... Well, 4-3-3. We don't know with Burnley. That's the interesting thing. I think Pep Guardiola mentioned that in his pre-match press conferences about how you don't really know how Burnley are going to line up. They're very versatile. They can line up in different ways. Vincent Kompany's happy to change the formation. And that shows that Vincent Kompany is a very versatile manager. Ashton says here, Muric on the bench for Burnley. Another familiar face here, Ashton. Aaron Muric, who played for Manchester City. He's made some big appearances for Manchester City, hasn't he, over the years? Vincent Kompany's not the only familiar face. No, Taylor Howard-Bellis. I wondered if that is because he's cup-tied, maybe. Taylor Howard-Bellis can't play in this game against his current employers. He's only on loan at Burnley. But we know the way Burnley's going to play, in the sense that they want to keep possession, they want to play good football. I saw Burnley actually in the Carabao Cup. I haven't seen much of Burnley, I'll be honest with you. I saw Burnley play in the Carabao Cup against Manchester United and get knocked out, but they were very much on the ball all the time, wanting to keep possession, wanting to attack. That's what Vincent Kompany wants. He says that, you know, Pep Guardiola has really been the inspiration for him. So we'll have to see that. Is that going to be the case today? Are they going to play possession football? Are they going to go toe-to-toe with Manchester City, Burnley? Which would be very, very difficult for them. Or are they going to sit back a little bit, be more defensive against City, soak up pressure and hit City on the counter? We'll have to see. We need some performance in the Champions League game. Yeah, I mean, Manchester City drawing Bayern Munich, and then if they were to beat Bayern, they then face Real Madrid or Chelsea in the semi-final. That is a really bad, I think, draw from City in terms of, I mean, easiness, but That being said, if City were to knock out Real Madrid, if City were to knock out Bayern Munich, I think you should beat Napoli in the final. I know Napoli have been brilliant this season, but they should beat Napoli or Benfica or Inter Milan or AC Milan in the final, shouldn't they? So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. I think City will be the deserved Champions League winners if they were knocking out the big sides. I think Napoli, who I predict will go to the final, will have the easier run, won't they, against AC Milan, against, possibly Inter Milan or Benfica. Chelsea is a piece of nothing. You can always disrespect them. So Ashley's not a big fan of Chelsea at all, as we know here, as you've heard many a times. Yeah, I still think Chelsea cause City problems in the Champions League. To be honest with you, I'm not scared of Chelsea under Graham Potter at all. I don't see in Graham Potter that sort of, fight or aggressiveness as a manager that you saw maybe in a Thomas Tuchel or an Antonio Conte or previous Chelsea managers. I think City would have an easier time against Chelsea than they would Real Madrid. Real Madrid are a very, very difficult side to face because you just cannot seem to put Real Madrid down. Liverpool maybe tried it, but, they were 2-0 up, and then it was 5-2 win for Real Madrid. That just shows the quality they have. They never look like they're going to lose a game, Real Madrid, most of the time, in the Champions League anyway. In La Liga, it's a bit of a different story. If you watch La Liga, Real Madrid are not always so good. Ashton trolls Chelsea. Yeah, I've noticed you troll Chelsea a lot. On the bench here for City today, Grealish is there with Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, Stones, Phillips, Edison, Gomez, Palmer, Ilkay Gundogan, and Ake having a bit of a talk there. Nathan Ake has come under some, comedic value from Jack Grealish the other day. I don't know if you saw Jack Grealish's Instagram post. I saw it on social media. He'd got a mug with a certain picture of Nathan Ake that had been drawn in a pretty comedic fashion. I don't think Ake was maybe too happy with it in the end. I think Grealish took the Instagram post down because it caused so many waves. There's plenty of Burnley fans here today at the Etihad Stadium. Come down. Not a long drive down from Burnley, really, to Manchester. And that's why there's so many of them as well. It's not like playing Southampton. And speaking of Southampton, they've got a lot of travelling to do. They travelled to Spurs today, Southampton, and managed to pick up... maybe Spurs travelled to Southampton. They managed to pick up a 3-3 draw with a last-minute James Ward-Prowse penalty. Spurs continually bottling their time, aren't they, in the Premier League, in the Champions League, whatever they do, Spurs, they're going to bottle it. Andrew's coming in the predictions with a 3-1 win for Manchester City. Yeah, I want Burnley to do well for Vincent Kompany, but I don't want them to do well today. I'd like City to beat Burnley as easy. They're like 2 minutes away from kickoff as well, or 3 minutes away from kickoff, not far away. But City have got to go out and beat Burnley today, haven't they? Batter Burnley. Make it look comfortable maybe at times, but also make sure you still make Vincent Kompany look like a decent manager. I mean, Ashton, I think, is one of those really pushing the next manager after Pep Guardiola is Vincent Kompany. I'm not on the Vincent Kompany to manage Manchester City train. I'm not. I'm not on that train. I've witnessed Manchester United be managed by one of their icons in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, one of their legends, you'd say. I've watched Chelsea be managed by one of their club legends in Frank Lampard, and many other clubs. When it doesn't go their way, you set a lower standard. You set a lower standard for a former player because you like the player and you like the person. You say, well, we might not be winning games, but we've just got to give them time, even if they're doing really bad. And that's what we saw at Chelsea with Frank Lampard. They didn't want to really be honest about Lampard's situation. We saw that with United with Solskjaer. They didn't want to be honest about the situation. I want City fans to be honest about the situation. If a manager's not doing well, I want to say they're not doing well. And that is the issue, isn't it? If they aren't playing well, and the team isn't playing well under Vincent Kompany, would City fans honestly say, well, listen, Vincent Kompany, we want you to go? I don't think so, and I don't want that sort of manager. I want one that we can be honest with. Can't wait to see the City FC career mode. I see the new Zabaleta and Maicon. I hope you Walker. You're the new Pablo Zabaleta. Ashton, the Bosnian Zabaleta, I've called you. In the City FC career mode. You can watch that, Ashton, from Friday, 24th. Next Friday, or the Friday upcoming, the 24th of March is when the City FC career mode starts on the main channel for you to enjoy. Vincent Kompany coming out to the pitch now, shaking hands with many people around. He is a fan favourite, is Vinny Kompany. And he comes out onto the pitch under real love from the fans who just applaud the man who they appreciate so much. Here's to you, Vincent Kompany, on the banners, and plenty of Vincent Kompany banners coming out from the crowd. Vincent Kompany saying hello to the staff here, and little talking to by Ilkay Gundogan for Vincent Kompany. Patrick Vieira's been sacked as Ashton, he has. I mean, would Kompany go to Crystal Palace? I'm not sure. He's doing a really good job at Burnley. Going to get them promoted. And out comes Pep Guardiola to say hello to Vincent Kompany. And I think Pep really does appreciate what Kompany is doing. Kompany on the pitch here with just a bit of a round of applause from the City fans. An absolute legend of the club. You know, City's captain that led them to so many titles and so on. Now, I might be a little bit behind. I'm watching this game on the BBC online. So apologies if I'm a little bit behind. If you're watching on live TV, you can time your clock up with mine. And you can listen to the action as it happens. Brian Kidd is on the field now as well. Mike Summerby, sorry. Brian Kidd. Looks sort of similar. Mike Summerby's out there to be applauded by the City fans. Another club legend. Alongside Vincent Kompany. As they run through the teams here. Stefan Ortega starts in goal for Manchester City, as we know. Walker, Diaz, Laporte and Lewis the back four. Rodri and De Bruyne in midfield 3. Or midfield 2, maybe Alvarez is in there. Foden, Mahrez and Haaland up top. That is the City starting 11. Edison, Phillips, Stones, Ake, Gundogan, Grealish, the likes of those on the bench. Here today for Manchester City, as for Burnley. Cullen, Vitinho and Goodmanson in the midfield 3. Tiller, Foster, Zauri, the front 3. Bayer, Dahakil, Matson, Robertson, Peacock, Farrell in goal as well. So Manchester City versus Burnley. I thought the kickoff was actually at 1:45. Maybe they've just kicked off recently. I think the kickoff has been delayed just a little bit. Here, Vincent Kompany and Pep Guardiola have a little talk with each other. Manchester City versus Burnley. Kompany versus Guardiola. Two local sides go head-to-head against each other. Today's referee is John Brooks, who has been refereeing the Championship. Recently started promoted to the Premier League games. He's a pretty young-looking referee, considering to the others. City and, of course, the blue home kit. Stefan Ortega wearing orange today. Burnley wearing their black away kit. Ashton's flexing the Bosnians have a letter, which he, of course, is for City FC. Man City versus Burnley. And we are about to kick off. Goodmanson over the ball. Ball on the centre circle. Goodmanson from Iceland. We're underway here. Vincent Kompany's return to Manchester City. Long ball followed by Burnley, headed down by Rodri. And followed by Burnley again, who are going to come right out of the traps here at Manchester City, I'm sure. Matson. Cullen. The captain. Matson back to Bayer. And it looks like Burnley are going with the back 3 here today. Actually. Vitinho at right wing back. Peacock, Farrell and Burnley getting Peacock, Farrell on the ball there, stepping out from his defence and trying to play the ball forward to Zauri, which he does. Kyle Walker intercepts, but straight back down to a Burnley man in Foster, off the arm of Foster. Handball for Manchester City. Actually, I do not think the problem in Palace was Vieira. They're bored, never back any manager. Well, apparently Palace are thinking of bringing back Roy Hodgson, which is just, I mean, talk about a backward step if you're bringing back Roy Hodgson. Here is Laporte, Diaz, Walker. Down the line by Walker to Riyad Mahrez. Play by Mahrez there under pressure from Ian Matson, who's a little bit too tight to Riyad Mahrez. Takes a touch on his left foot. Matson comes through the back of him. It's a free kick to Manchester City over the halfway line in City's half here on the right-hand side of the field. City play quickly into Stefan Ortega. From where I know Peacock Farrell, is he Northern Irish? Yes, he's Northern Irish, I think, Peacock Farrell. Actually, I think he's played against City before for Burnley a few years ago. I think he played very well in the game as well, if I remember rightly. Ortega switched to Mahrez. Matson there across. Ahead of Mahrez. Walker watching out. Throwing Manchester City. Kyle Walker to take. Vincent Kompany's up and down the sidelines here. Giving instructions to his players. Mahrez nods it on to Alvarez. On the turn here. Julian Alvarez. Got Phil Foden on the left-hand side. A little bit late to pass it to Phil Foden, but he's crosses Vitinha. Foden could have gone behind to Alvarez, but he goes back to Rico Lewis. And Lewis back to Diaz. De Bruyne. Round the corner to Kyle Walker. Nice pass by De Bruyne into Walker. Wide right to Riyad Mahrez. De Bruyne in behind to Kyle Walker. Across the box from Walker. Haaland is in there. Bayer away. Here is De Bruyne. Dispossessed the Burnley player. Josh Cullen. City back in possession. Good pressing by Kevin De Bruyne. Working hard there to win the ball back for Manchester City. Laporte. Turned by Rico Lewis. Rodri under pressure. Burnley are pressing City. Alvarez picks it up. Back he goes to Aymeric Laporte. Sam Evans asks, can you make the FIFA 22 Man City career mode and Season 10 open to everyone? That might be a possibility actually, Sam. Yeah, maybe. Ortega long. Onto the chest of Mahrez. Down to Walker. Mahrez. And the ball went out here. As Kyle Walker chested down the left-hand side. And it's a throw into Burnley. Be taken by Ian Maatsen. Back to Bayer. And all the way back to the goalkeeper, Peacock Farrell. At the moment, he's pretty heavily involved in the build-up. Long by Burnley, forward to Zouari, who can't get the end of it. Kyle Walker with his arm up anyway for offside. Referee says thrown instead. And Walker throws it back to the goalkeeper, Ortega. Stefan Ortega for Manchester City. Trying to find options here, Ortega. Take his time on the ball, won't he, the German. Been impressive in most games he's played for City, bar maybe that Southampton defeat. Ortega long to Haaland here. Headed down by Burnley. Kevin De Bruyne heads it out wide left to Phil Foden. You can't control it, Foden. And it's a throw in for Burnley. That's poor from Foden. Try to let it run over his head and then take a touch. In the end, couldn't control it. Ashton won the Premier League on Football Manager with Blackpool and La Liga with... Wow. Well played, Ashton. I mean, you must be very good at Football Manager. I'm terrible at Football Manager. I've played it maybe 1 or 2 times, and every time I just keep getting sacked. Never seem to get the wins. Here's Connor Roberts. Down to Teller. Tackled by Rodri. Foden in there for City. Into Kevin De Bruyne. Haaland. Back to Foden. Defended away by Burnley. Oh, slipped by Vitinho. Nicked off him by Phil Foden. It's a goal kick for Burnley. Vitinho a little bit lucky there. The Brazilian. Foden thought he just nicked it off the Brazilian fullback. But his touch was a little bit heavy and he took it out for a goal kick towards Burnley. Pep Guardiola in his whole managerial career has won 32 trophies. Current stat on the screen right now. That is a brilliant record. Goal kick Burnley to be taken by Peacock Farrell. Long with the left foot by the goalkeeper. Diaz boots it forward. I don't know how he got his foot on that. Haaland wide into Phil Foden. Haaland slammed into, but back to his feet. Haaland and running forward here. Foden. Rico Lewis. Rodri. Under pressure here from Zouari, dispossessed. Only as far as Laporte. Rodri. Haaland now on the ball. Foden. Alvarez. Little shimmy from Julian Alvarez and back to Laporte. Wide to Phil Foden, a heavy pass by Laporte. Behind for a throw-in. Phil Foden looks towards Aymeric Laporte, saying, I mean, what was that pass? Very, very heavy. Very heavy pass. And behind for a throw-in to Burnley. Phil Foden couldn't control it. But I don't think Foden's had the most swift of starts here today. Looks a little bit slow, looks a bit off it. But he has done in previous games. Haaland has now got a club record 39 goals this season. Incredible, isn't it, really? The sheer amount of goals Haaland scored. Diaz here, quite out of position, but he beats the Burnley man to it. Maatsen was pressing. Long ball forward. And City back in possession with Rico Lewis at left back today. Alvarez, Rodri, Rico. Back into Laporte. Difficult for Lewis, I think, playing at left back. Has to keep cutting back inside that right foot because he isn't really as comfortable on his left foot. City are very much lacking a left back, and Pep Guardiola spoke about that in his pre-match press conference, saying that City, you know, have lost a lot in losing Cancelo and attacking fullbacks. De Bruyne here takes it on the chest here. De Bruyne, good play. KDB. Take down the long pass from Ortega. Foden behind to Alvarez. Julian. Alvarez still. Alvarez into Phil Foden. He's got their head in the byline here. Good tackle by Bayer and Foden. Falls to Rodri with the hit. Blocked away. Maatsen against Mahrez here. Mahrez tries to skip past Maatsen. Heavy first touch on the outside of the left foot by Maatsen. By Mahrez against Maatsen. It's behind for a goal kick. It was Alvarez who got a ball through to Phil Foden, who's clattered into it in the box. Could that have been a penalty on Phil Foden? The Burnley player didn't get the ball at all. Zinchenko was probably City's biggest mistake. I think selling Zinchenko certainly wouldn't have been a mistake, Ashton, if we'd signed a fullback, but we didn't do. And then we sold the only other fullback that could play on the left-hand side as well. It shouldn't help. City back in possession. Rico Lewis here. Diaz. 7 minutes gone at the Etihad Stadium so far. City are dominant the two sides on the ball. But chance-wise, neither side has really created a good chance. Ortega. Alvarez. Laporte. Rico Lewis. Here's Julian Alvarez, who's playing a bit of a free roll. Alvarez. Foden made a run, but he's gone early now. Alvarez. Switch of play by Julian out to Riyad Mahrez. Great pass by him. Mahrez in behind to Walker. Can't find him. Teller off Mahrez. Kevin De Bruyne out to win it. Teller in there against Kevin De Bruyne. Mahrez body across. And Teller watching behind for a throw-in. Well, I have to say, Teller's looked quite good so far. And Maatsen as well. I think Maatsen's looked very good at full-back. Been involved. Signed Ryan Bertrand for left-back. I mean, actually, Leicester City fans can't stand Ryan Bertrand at the moment. Can't even get a game for them. Since he's signed, I'm glad City never signed him really as a short-term option. Maybe he would have been decent at the time. Well, could City have had a penalty for that late foul by the Burnley man? They're looking at it, but not on VAR. It's too late. I don't think there's any VAR in the FA Cup anyway. Rodri. Wide to Rico Lewis. On this left-hand side, Lewis. Out to Laporte. And back we go to Ortega. Stefan Ortega for Manchester City. Can he find an option forward? Ortega's used a long ball today and it's a lovely sweeping pass out to Kyle Walker. Back we go into Diaz. De Bruyne. Ortega again. I think Ortega is surprisingly good with his feet. I think I didn't expect that sort of player when we first signed him really. He's adapted very well to this on-the-ball goalkeeping performance that City want to see. Rico Lewis across to Diaz. Walker. Back to Diaz, and City play out the press very well again. It's calm by Walker. Diaz across to Ortega. Ashton says the FA Cup's the best competition in the world. Well, it used to be the more important one compared to the Premier League, Ashton, in the history of English football. Ortega, long and wide to Haaland, who can't take it down here. But he's putting a Burnley man under pressure. Nowhere to go for the Burnley man. Little back heel. Burnley keep it in. Connor Roberts just throws himself to the floor when Haaland's near him. The referee somehow gives a free kick. Much to the frustration of Erling Haaland. Peacock Farrell. Long and wide. Dealt with by Walker. Chested down to Rodri. On the chest of Rodri. Back over the top to Diaz, who takes it down well. And Pep Guardiola this week also described in his press conference how Ruben Diaz is very much the Vincent Kompany replacement for Manchester City. On and off the field. Laporte. Into Phil Foden. Sliding challenge on Phil Foden. The Burnley man apparently didn't win the ball, Connor Roberts. He complained he did, and Phil Foden is down holding the left ankle now. Roberts claiming he did win the ball. Manchester City were happy maybe with the challenge here from Roberts. Does he win the ball? Maybe he does. I'll have to see this again. Ooh, he does get the ball. I think Connor Roberts ahead of Phil Foden. Foden planked his ankle after that. Maybe twist the ankle as Phil Foden. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Another City player, ex-City player, Craig Bellamy, of course. Vincent Kompany's assistant manager on the sideline with him. Ortega for Manchester City here. Looking for a pass, looking for an option. Goes wide left to Alvarez, beaten to it by Connor Roberts. But Alvarez keeps chasing here. Roberts. Alvarez chases it down. Peacock Farrell under pressure here. Left-footed pass out to Zauri, who heads it on towards Rodri, who intercepts it before it gets the South African up top. Foster, Ortega, Rodri. Back into Diaz. Ortega's very much playing the sweeper keeper role here today. A lot of time on the ball. Ortega into Mahrez, nods it on here. Haaland in a foot race with Bayer, who gets there, and back to Peacock Farrell. Burnley pressing very, very high up the field, and Vincent Kompany in the sidelines, making sure he pushes his side to go on and press City. A wayward pass by Peacock Farrell, the goalkeeper, towards Vitinha on the far right-hand side, and City have a throw-in. Laporte. Rodri. Rodri still. Back to Laporte. Into goalkeeper Ortega. City work it round the back. Stefan Ortega basically playing like a centre-back in his positioning. Alongside Rodri. Ortega. Rodri. Back to Ortega again. Into Rico Lewis. Back to Diaz. It's a bit of an over-it pass. So Diaz has to go back to the keeper Ortega once more. And Ortega with a switch out to the left-hand side to Phil Foden. Beaten to it by the Burnley man, but Foden takes it down. Foden, great touch. Alvarez skips away from Roberts, perhaps. Still Julian Alvarez here. Switch of play out to Riyad Mahrez. He's fantastic by Alvarez again. Bad touch by Mahrez up against Maatsen here. Step over and back to Walker. Kevin De Bruyne. Into Mahrez. Bad pass by KDB and back into Rodri. Rodri. Diaz. Alvarez was an option there for Diaz, but it went back to Laporte instead. Rodri. Under pressure. Vincent Kompany waving his Burnley side forward here, and City have to go back to the goalkeeper Ortega again. Ortega should be called up for the German national team for qualifiers, says Ashton. Well, actually, Leroy Sané has been left out the German side, as well as Ilkay Gundogan. Ortega wide to Walker and given away by Walker. One back by Mahrez. De Bruyne, Mahrez. Good play by Riyad Mahrez. A few other players been left out. Antonio Rudiger. Manuel Neuer, of course, who is out injured, and probably that's the end of his German career. Diaz. Laporte. Running behind by Phil Foden against Roberts here. On to Foden. There ahead of Roberts. Foden back to Rico Lewis. Alvarez. Little back into Rico Lewis and nearly gets there. On to Phil Foden. Crossing by Foden to the far post. Maatsen nods it away from Mahrez and lumps it away, Maatsen. Laporte beats the Burnley man to it. Walker, and back we go to Diaz. City start again, but all the way in the Burnley half. And then Diaz with a poor pass out to the right-hand side to Mahrez. Throwing to Burnley. Far onto the right-hand side near the corner flag. But it means City can press up here. Make it difficult for Burnley to play out. Gundo wasn't called up, says Ashton. Yep, Ilkay Gundogan not in the Germany squad. Maybe, I don't know, is that because they rested him? Because they know he's a definite and they want to try some of the players out? I've no idea. Maatsen forward here. Burnley had it on straight to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne here turns. De Bruyne through to Haaland. So unlucky, doesn't find him. Rico Lewis. Left hand side to Alvarez here. Julian. Alvarez. Looking to take them on. Alvarez. Back to Phil Foden. Alvarez again. Rico Lewis. Tries to get the play from the left to the right now. Diaz. Walker. Back into the centre to Rodri. Laporte is the option to the left-hand side. City back in their own half now. Laporte plays it forward to De Bruyne. City have got runners here. They've lost De Bruyne here. De Bruyne behind to Alvarez. And Burnley across with a good challenge. But Alvarez in there to win it back for his team. Julian Alvarez. Good play by Alvarez. Alvarez and Burnley clear it behind for a throw-in. Really, really good hard work from Julian Alvarez there. Ashton would have Ortega captain in first choice for Germany. Well, I don't think he'd start ahead of ter Stegen, Ashton. Ter Stegen is the best German keeper without a doubt. Kevin Trapp is pretty good as well, starting for Eintracht Frankfurt. I think if Ortega played first team football for City, maybe. But he's just a backup, isn't he? So he's never going to start for his national side when they've got other good keepers there in the ranks. Lewis. Alvarez. Into Rodri. It's a bad pass by Julian Alvarez given away. Burnley come the other way now. Tellers, a good chance for a counter-attack here. Alvarez running back, helping his team out. Switch of play by Burnley. Kyle Walker in there. Down to De Bruyne. Back to Rodri. Turner by Alvarez and City come forward themselves now. Julian. Wide to Phil Foden. Foden. Switch of play to Mahrez again. Maatsen intercepts. Playing pretty well. Mahrez wide to Kyle Walker on this right-hand side. Back to Mahrez. Mahrez. Rodri. Walker. Walker. Mahrez to pass to. Mahrez back to Rodri. City working Burnley now. Rico Lewis. Rodri. And back he has to go to Diaz. Kompany again saying to his Burnley players, when City play it back to the keeper, push up, make it difficult for them. And in these first 15 minutes, Burnley certainly have made it difficult for Manchester City. Ortega. I mean, Ortega just keeps coming further and further forward. Further and further forward, Ortega here. Looking for a pass, looking for an option. Goes into Riyad Mahrez. Back to Ortega again. Playing pretty much like the centre of a back three now, Ortega. With Laporte on the left and Ruben Diaz on the right. Ortega. Rico Lewis makes a mistake here. Rico Lewis. Burnley with a chance here. Zauri across. Well, Ortega playing out of his box. Rico Lewis miscontrolled it. Nearly in trouble there. Zauri. Tackle by Riyad Mahrez, but Rico Lewis has got to do better there with his control. Be more aware of his surroundings a bit. Bad first touch, and that allowed Burnley to get on top of City there. Throwing now for Burnley to take him by Maatsen, but that was a good chance for Burnley. City nearly make a mistake with the goalkeeper out the box. Here's Bayer. And Burnley go all the way back to their goalkeeper, Peacock Farrell. Burnley looking to do the same, play with their goalkeepers like an outfield player. Goodmanson. Alderhill. Bayer. Bayer into Maatsen, under pressure from Walker, over the top of Kyle Walker into Zauri. I have to say, Maatsen's been very good. Here's Zauri. Switch of play by Zauri into Teller. He's got players to either side of him. Teller here. Teller with a shot! Ortega with a save. Behind for a corner for Burnley. He was offside there, Teller. The linesman thought not. Corner ball for Burnley. It was an odd shot. I think Nathan Teller's certainly offside. They thought not, whatever reason. He slips as he hits this one. Ortega just has to palm it away. It's going towards the bottom corner. Outstretched out right arm of Ortega. Fingertips pushes it behind along the floor. Going towards the bottom left-hand corner. It's a corner for Burnley here. Zauri. Over this one for the side. Swung into the far post here. Walker away. Alvarez in there. Laporte nods it on. Only as far as a Burnley player puts it back into a channel here. Wide to Zauri. Crossing with the left foot by Zauri and taken by Ortega. Two arms. Very easy one for the German there to pick up. And get his side back in possession. And he rolls it out left to Aymeric Laporte. Back to Ortega. Had a lot of the ball, Stefan Ortega, so far. A lot of the ball so far. Ortega just keeps bringing the ball forward. Burnley don't want to press him. Ortega wide to Walker. Down onto Mahrez. It's a bad one by Walker with the header. And Burnley pick it back up, back to the goalkeeper. It's intercepted by the centre-back. Alderhill gets there. Burnley keep it. Goodmanson over and in behind. Walker leaves it. Under pressure from a Burnley man in Foster and Walker. Good strength by Kyle Walker. Holds them off and watches it out. Shepherds it behind for a throw-in for City. All our keepers at number one for the national team. Stefan. I know there's on loan. Yeah, that's very true, Ashton, isn't it? Maybe we've got to bring in Mike Maignan from AC Milan. He's France's new number one since Hugo Lloris has retired. Burnley in possession in their own half. Bayer. Right footer Bayer here. Still Bayer dribbling forward. Maatsen. Maatsen goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Peacock Farrell. Well, Chelsea have got a pretty good left back on their hands here in Maatsen, but with Kukureya in the team, as well as Ben Chilwell, you don't think he's really going to get a game at Burnley. We know away from Burnley at Chelsea. Maybe they sign him on a permanent Burnley. Vincent Kompany's got a 66% win rate as Burnley manager so far in his Burnley career. Here is Ortega for Manchester City into Aymeric Laporte. Back to Ortega. I tell you what, Stefan Ortega has been heavily involved in this game, and that's probably not a positive sign at times. He's literally stood right out of his box here, playing football into Laporte. Confident. Laporte back into Ortega again. Long by Ortega and out to Riyad Mahrez, down to Walker. Alvarez. Julian. His option is Ortega and he goes back to Stefan Ortega. And wide to Kevin De Bruyne. Laporte. Can we work this ball forward now? Good pressing from Burnley. Laporte into Alvarez. Oh, mistaken pass again by Alvarez. He's second of the game. Burnley are in again. Rico Lewis with sliding challenge and a good tackle by Lewis on Foster, I think. It was a second bad pass by Julian Alvarez. Walker clips one in behind towards Alvarez. Good take by him. Into Riyad Mahrez. Good sliding challenge by Alvarez to win it for his team. Mahrez. Rodri. Switch of plays on here. Rodri's got to switch this. Rodri into Haaland and giving away. Haaland sees it there. And De Bruyne's in so much space on the far side. He's got to pass that wide. Foul by Kyle Walker on Zauri. It's a free kick for them. Actually, this looks like only Ortega plays. He's the most used player here, Ortega. City have got to switch the ball to the opposite side to De Bruyne here. And they don't do. And that's a big mistake. If Rodri gets his head up and switches the play over to De Bruyne, he's got Haaland and Foden. Mahrez running through the middle. And I think Haaland looked very frustrated there. Peacock Farrell. Under pressure from Riyad Mahrez. Long by the goalkeeper. City so far with 77% possession. Diaz loses out here to Zauri. Ball behind to Teller, who's run off Aymeric Laporte. And here's Nathan Teller. 1-on-1 with Kyle Walker. Back he goes to Zauri. Option to the far post. Zauri goes short to Cullen, does he? Back out to Teller. Good combination from Burnley. Teller. Maatsen. He goes back to Bayer. Oh, lovely ball there. Centre back through to Teller. What a sliding challenge by Ruben Diaz. That is absolutely class defending by Diaz to make the challenge. I'd have to say, poor positioning by Diaz and Walker. Teller runs off them and Diaz makes a really nice challenge. Throws that leg out there. Clean challenge in the box. If he gets it wrong, it's a penalty. Puts everything into it to make the tackle. And behind for a corner for Burnley now. And a limping Nathan Teller is asked by Diaz if he's okay. Which is a good sportsmanship from Ruben Diaz there. Corner ball. We all know that Sergio Gomez is your favourite player alongside Edison, yeah. I love Gomez, he's brilliant. Crossing by Zaire to the far post. Unmarked to the Burnley man. Running in off the Laporte's chest. Back into there by Burnley. Header across the box here. Far post for a chance here. And Ortega spreads himself. Makes a save. I don't know if the Burnley player headed it into the ground. Then he saved it and Ortega plays it long towards Haaland straight away. Foden taken down by Burnley. Free kick for Manchester City here. Connor Roberts the second time. Third time he's made a foul. Foden beat Roberts there. And Roberts fell on top of Foden to make sure he couldn't go anywhere. Clever by Roberts. I mean, Foden there. I don't know if he touches Foden too much. Foden should have kept going. Vincent Kompany's having a discussion with full official Anthony Taylor about that free kick. And Erling Haaland has been over to Pep Guardiola for some instructions. Haaland's now giving some instructions to Kevin De Bruyne as well. They're talking things through. Pep Guardiola and Haaland, and now Haaland relays the message to Kevin De Bruyne. Laporte. Diaz. Back we go to Ortega again. Haaland is dropping deeper for Manchester City now. Wide to Phil Foden by Ortega. Oh, Ortega's found Foden. Brilliant pass. And Roberts here. Beaten by Foden. Foden's still going here. Phil Foden flicks over the top here. Foden's fouled again by Connor Roberts. No free kicks as the referee. And Foden fouled for the third time by Connor Roberts. Haaland's having a word with the referee here. How many times? I don't think it's going to be a free kick for City. I don't think the referee saw it. Ooh, it's a late one by Vitinho, actually. Studs right at the top of Phil Foden's boot. Onto the toes. It's a clear foul from the Burnley man there at right back. But the referee's not picked up on it. The referee says no, play on. Vitinho. Back to Connor Roberts. Alderhill, good play by Burnley. That's brilliant by Burnley. Break the City press easily. Maatsen. Burnley with Bayer go across their own box here. It's a mistaken pass here onto Foden nearly. Foden pressing, City pressing Rico Lewis. Fouled by Burnley again. It's Julian Alvarez helping his team out defensively and back to Aymeric Laporte. Into Rico Lewis. Under pressure here from Goodmanson. Rico Lewis turns him. Big challenge on Rico Lewis here by a Burnley man. And Rico gone down injured here, the young fullback Rico Lewis. Connor Roberts again. Lewis spins Goodmanson. Connor Roberts comes in very aggressively, pulling the shirt of Rico Lewis, and Roberts kicks the ball and has a good kick out of Rico Lewis on the way through. Studs follow through onto the legs of Rico Lewis, onto his knee. Let's hope he's going to be okay here. I mean, Rico Lewis seems to be on the end of a lot of big challenges a lot of the time. Haaland here picks up for City. Haaland into Phil Foden. It's nearly a nice pass, but Haaland's pass just not enough quality on it. Back to the goalkeeper goal, Burnley. Peacock Farrell. And long by the keeper out to Vitinho. Taken down here. Goodmanson. Beaten by Rodri. Good physicality by Rodri into Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne into Riyad Mahrez. De Bruyne couldn't thread it through. Alvarez. Alvarez with a hit here. Deflected. Will fall to Mahrez the far right hand side. Mahrez against Teller. Or against Maatsen. It's behind for a corner to Manchester City here. Burnley wants a free kick, I think. They're not going to get one. I don't know what they want a free kick for. Gudmundsson thinks he was pushed, I believe, by Rodri. It's a corner ball. Haaland in there, Diaz in there. Aymeric Laporte for Manchester City. Laporte has got a very good record, actually, for goals from set pieces. Crossing by Mahrez across the near post. I thought Haaland was just getting there then. Falls to Rico Lewis. Flicks it over the head of Gudmundsson. Back to Maatsen. And then back down to Rico Lewis and City. Back in possession with Rodri with a poor touch there. Rico Lewis fouls Teller. But what is Rodri doing? What is Rodri doing there? He has a chance to, pass it just simply to Diaz. Instead, he sort of plays it nearly out of play. And Rico Lewis has to foul a Burnley player to make sure they don't run through on the counter. And Rico Lewis is pulled up. Free kick to Burnley. That was Rodri's mistake. City pressing Burnley. Alder kill. Long ball forward here. Walker to deal with it. Walker back to goalkeeper Ortega. Stefan Ortega for Manchester City. He's just bringing the ball out again, Ortega. Just a lot of Ortega being on the ball, isn't it, at the moment? Rolls it into Alvarez. Onto Laporte. Back to Ortega. More touches than anyone else on the field have, without a doubt, Stefan Ortega. Heavily, heavily involved. Manchester City. Ortega switch a play out right to Kyle Walker. Chested down to Mahrez. Back into Walker. Then doesn't look forward. De Bruyne. Rodri. Walker. Good movement by Kevin De Bruyne. Kyle Walker. Come on, pick a pass, Kyle. Wide right to Riyad Mahrez. That's better from City. Mahrez. Rodri. Gives it away again, Rodri. Poor by Rodri. Burnley counter. Look, it's a bad pass to Teller, otherwise they would have been in. Laporte. Walker. Little flick back. Burnley unlucky there not to get the counter going. Rodri. Walker. And City go back again. Probably Stefan Ortega's going to be involved again. Diaz in behind. Headed away by Burnley. Zauri. Diaz out to win it. It's a little bit late one on Diaz. On Zauri there. Referee thinks not. Laporte back to Ortega. And Ortega long and wide right towards Riyad Mahrez. On the chest of Mahrez. Great pass by Ortega. Mahrez. Brings it forward here. Kevin De Bruyne. Foden to the left of him. Phil Foden is left hand side. Alvarez and Haaland in the box here. To the far post to Haaland. Haaland with a header across the box. Mahrez wasn't really running in there to attack that. And Burnley get it away in the end. And clear it forward. And dealt with by City. Diaz. Rodri on the turn. Alvarez. Open up Burnley again here. Mahrez. Haaland at the far post. Riyad Mahrez. Little step overs. Mahrez into Alvarez. Does pick it up. Alvarez. Tackle by Bayer. Is a brilliant one from the Burnley man. And he flicks it into the path of the goalkeeper, Peacock Farrell. Could it have been a back pass? I don't know. Just scoops the ball away from Julian Alvarez. Great challenge. Mahrez wanted a back pass. Referee says no. And Burnley continue now with their possession. They tried to create a chance against City. Maatsen. I think Burnley's best chance is catching City out in a transition. When City make a mistake or make a loose pass. Mark Hubert is here. Hello to you, Mark. Burnley out wide to Vitinho. Bahios to Roberts. Alderkill. Peacock Farrell. Brilliant pass into Maatsen. And they break the City press. And Erling Haaland was very unhappy that they broke the City press there. Maatsen. Taken down. He's a Burnley man there. Burnley give it away. Walker. Good play by Kyle Walker. And Bayer makes the challenge on him. And it's a throw into Manchester City. But Erling Haaland was really frustrated with the City team there. That Burnley could break the press so easily. I have a match today. Can't wait. Watch entirely. I say 3-0 City. Mahrez. And with 2 and 1 from Julian Alvarez. You might just be right, Ashton. Might just be right, Mark Hubert. I'll have to see. At the moment, I don't really think City look like scoring particularly. They haven't been fantastic. Rodri. Back to Ortega. Most of the game's been played through Stefan Ortega at the moment. Vincent Kompany on the sidelines looking forward here. Craig Bellamy having a bit of a talk with Anthony Taylor, the fourth official. Long ball forward by Ortega. Haaland. Down to Alvarez. Mahrez in behind here. Great find to Haaland here. Haaland round the keeper. Erling Haaland scores. 1-0 Manchester City. But who else? But Erling Haaland. 1-0. One ball through. And we cut Burnley open. Poked through the goalkeeper by Erling Haaland. Mark Cubitt says Ortega is looking like a class backup. He's absolutely fantastic, isn't he, Ortega? Absolutely fantastic. And Haaland scores here. His 40th goal of the season. Over top by Ortega. Down by Haaland to Alvarez. Mahrez and Haaland make the runs. Alvarez finds his strike partner, who pokes it past the left-hand side of the outrushing Peacock Farrell with his left foot. And poked into the back of the net by Erling Haaland. Brilliant goal by Haaland. Really, really nice finish. Really nice finish from Haaland. 1-0 Manchester City. And he's the big Norwegian with his 40th goal in all competitions this season. What a player. What a player he is. Manchester City 1, Burnley 0. Ashton sensed that one was coming, didn't he? And City in the lead at the Etihad now against Vincent Kompany's side. I think Vincent Kompany will be frustrated with that one. His Burnley side's defence pushed high and City punished them with the quality of Erling Haaland. Who else really was going to score? He'll score at least 50 goals this year across all competitions. Well, he's only got to score 10 more. Burnley are in trouble again here. They nearly make a mistake in front of their own box. Rodri pressing Bayer was a foul free kick Burnley. But Erling Haaland applauds the approach of Rodri there. It looks like it's absolutely pouring it down in Manchester. 10 more goals to 50, Ashton. It's not many, is it? Ball over top by Burnley here and well dealt with by Laporte, but only down as far as Zauri. And Burnley pick it up here. And wide they go to Zauri. Cuts inside onto that right foot. Cullen in possession and wide to Maatsen. Ashton's predicted 3-0. Tayuk has predicted 2-0. Here's Josh Cullen for Burnley. Bayer. Playing it round the back, do Burnley. Playing it backwards and they could be caught out here if they're not careful. Back to Bayer. Bayer back to goalkeeper Peacock Farrell. Goalkeeper looking for an option here. Plays it long, does the Burnley man. And it's an over it. Pass it's behind for a throw into Manchester City on this right-hand side that Kyle Walker will take. Vincent Kompany saying to his team here, pick the passes. He looks very frustrated, Vincent Kompany. Very, very frustrated with his Burnley side. Here is Phil Foden for Manchester City. They're in trouble again here across to Haaland. Second of the game for Erling Haaland. 2-0 Manchester City. It comes from hardly nothing. Erling Haaland points to Phil Foden and says, this is the man you need to look into. Phil Foden provides the assist and Erling Haaland gets goal number 2 of the game. Could he get another hat-trick today, Erling Haaland? He's just mine. 41st of the season. City 2, Burnley 0. It's Haaland again. He hooks Phil Foden, who provides the assist here. It's Kevin De Bruyne who picks it up. Vitinho's caught out by the run of... Roberts caught out by the run of Foden in behind. What a ball by Foden across to Haaland. And that is a clever, clever finish by Haaland. He lets it come across his body. And with the left foot at the far post, he bends it to the left-hand side, the far post of the keeper. Wonderful finish by Haaland. 2-0 City. This will be his first hat-trick in the FA Cup if he scores, says Ashton. Well, it's not beyond him. City 2, Burnley 0. And it's a double for Erling Haaland. This man just loves scoring at the Etihad. And he's done it again. He has done it again. 5 goals against Leipzig just a few days before, and he could get a hat-trick again here today. Ball forward. Diaz with a challenge. Rodri takes it down and back to Rico Lewis. City starts again. Rico should go into De Bruyne if he decides against it. And the end has to go backwards, and that ruins the City chance to attack again. Mahrez. Walker. Rodri. Mahrez. Back to Walker. Late by Maatsen on Mahrez. Ruben Diaz. Wide left to Aymeric Laporte. De Bruyne. Clipped in behind here to Phil Foden. Burnley in trouble again here. It comes off the heels of Foden. And across is Alderkill, the centre-back. Luckily for Burnley, really. Goodmanson, nice turn. If Foden could have been in again then. Would have been 3-0 Manchester City. I think Foden would have found Haaland, he would have had his hat-trick. Teller. Bayer. Teller again. Mahrez pressing him. 7 goals in his last 2 games. That is a ridiculous stat, isn't it? 2 games, his last 2 games, 7 goals. What a player. And it could be more, couldn't it? Ball forward to Maatsen here. Gives it away to Rodri. Walker. Rodri. Why is Rodri going backwards? Frustration from Haaland here against Rodri. Rodri into De Bruyne. Walker. I don't know why Rodri's going backwards there. You saw Erling Haaland just look at him and say, why? Play it forward. We have a chance to score. Why don't you want to score? Ortega. Goals win games, and passing backwards to Ortega doesn't. Chelsea scored less in a whole year, says Ashton. I know. Ridiculous, isn't it? Ball forward by Ortega, given away to Maatsen. And Burnley go back to Bayer. Under pressure from Haaland. Bayer. Haaland chases them down. He seems to be really up for every game at the moment, Erling Haaland, doesn't he? He wants it. He really wants to win everything. Back they go to Peacock Farrell. Bayer. I have to say, on the ball, looked pretty impressive, the German at the back, and he's pretty good defender as well. Diaz here beats Foster to it. Heavy touch by Rodri. Nice take by Rodri. Then he's got to go into Diaz, has he? Rodri goes back again. Walker and back to Ortega. That's the only frustrating thing about City. We just keep giving it Stefan Ortega. Laporte. Ortega. Rodri. Across to Laporte. Well played, Manchester City. Here's Aymeric Laporte for City. Looking to go forward. Back to Rodri. Need some support here. Walker making a run into the middle to try and give a passing option to his side. Stefan Ortega. 38 minutes gone at the Etihad. Ortega forward to Haaland, and Kevin De Bruyne continues the run here. Little flick on from Haaland, and Roberts does well there. And Josh Cullen, the captain, brings it out for Burnley. Kyle Walker, good challenge by Kyle Walker to throw into Burnley. Zauri there making an absolute meal of that, trying to make sure it was sort of a foul. Pep Guardiola is saying to Stefan Ortega pretty clearly, when you play those balls out, play them to the chest of Haaland. Let him take him on the chest. Brighton versus Grimsby Town tomorrow. De Zerbi. Everyone wants to see a bit of De Zerbi football. I think he's absolutely brilliant, the manager at Brighton. Teller back to goalkeeper Peacock Farrell. Pressing by Phil Foden. Lifted over the top to Connor Roberts. Pressing by De Bruyne. Rico Lewis up there as well against Vitinho. Lewis on Vitinho. Good play by Vitinho. Lewis unlucky not to win it. Oh, they can't give it away to Rodri. And Burnley break the City press from midfield. And here is Teller. And wide to Foster. Zauri. Chance here for Burnley. Zauri onto that right foot. Zauri across the far post. He's absolutely executed incredibly wrong. And he just puts it out for a goal kick for Ortega to take. That's poor from Burnley's point of view. Should do so much better in that situation. So much better. A goal kick for City. Burnley have had a few decent opportunities, I have to say. A few really decent opportunities. Just not pulled it off in the right way. Zauri, lifts the far post and straight behind for a goal kick. Burnley have got the ball back here. City have given it away. Burnley forward. Rico Lewis beats the Burnley man to it. Throwing to Burnley instead. Burnley player runs in behind Rico Lewis here. And the referee, I think, is going to give a free kick to Burnley. I'm not quite sure. Nathan Teller grabs the shirt of Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis gives him a little of a grab back, and then Teller goes down. Referee says 50-50, just get up and play on. Burnley go back to the goalkeeper. Peacock Farrell has been heavily involved like Ortega. Ball into the middle to Foster. He goes back to the centre-back. Sheffield United and Burnley to get promoted next season, as Medvedev as well, says Ashton. Yeah, I watched Sheffield United actually with a friend of mine not too long ago. Got to see a bit of James McAtee. They won 3-0 if I remember. They played really well against Swansea, in fact. So Burnley have had 4 attempts to Manchester City's 5, but City lead by 2-0. The Erling Haaland effect. Both sides have had 2 shots on target, except City's 2 shots on target have gone in the back of the net. Bayer for Burnley. Oh, brilliant from Bayer. Just burst from centre-back. Past the City midfield and forward players. Wide he goes to the winger for Burnley. Oh, and then a shocking pass, and they give it straight away back to City. Burnley are really poor. Alvarez in behind towards Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne chases this. Will he get the end of it, Kevin De Bruyne? He will. De Bruyne, a little nutmeg on the Burnley man who somehow keeps it in here. Alderhill. He got lucky there. Haaland's just too good to his fire. He's quite right. He's unbelievable footballer, Erling Haaland, isn't he? And he just cannot stop scoring. He cannot stop scoring. Wide they go to Zauri. Big challenge by Kyle Walker, sliding in and behind. Tommy Doyle also at Sheffield, says Ashton. Yeah, I didn't get to see Doyle on that day. But he seems a very popular player at Sheffield United. It wouldn't surprise me if they signed him on a permanent deal. I think City will be willing to let him go, but maybe not James McAtee. There has been a few little reports coming about James McAtee this week that City are very impressed with his determination and the sides of his game he's shown at Sheffield United. Bayer. Zauri. Into Maatsen. Zauri. Good take. Takes it backwards though. Bayer. Looks to play it forward, does the Burnley man. Big ball forward. Ortega off his line and Ortega out wide to Burnley with a chance here. Connor Roberts, could he have shot there? Picked it up on the far right hand side. Could he have hit it towards the goal? A long ranger, I don't think so. It would have been a fantastic finish. Maybe like Pedro Goncalves' finish against Arsenal in the Europa League the other night. What a fantastic goal. If you haven't seen that, go and check that one out. Goodmanson. Roberts. Back to Alderkill. Ball forward to Foster, who's a mile offside here. Or Teller. Referee says no. What a tackle by Kevin De Bruyne. Wide to Phil Foden here. Foden. Haaland's made a run. Teller comes through the back of Phil Foden. He's a free kick to Manchester City. And Teller's now kicked Foden in the back of the head. Foden's been in the wars here against Burnley. He's had about 3 kicks in the ankle, 1 stamp on the foot. And now, I think he takes a knee to the face as well. There's Phil Foden. And hopefully he's okay. He seems to be okay. Hat-trick loading his fires. Well, I hope you're right. Hopefully that hat-trick is coming for Manchester City. For Erling Haaland again. Phil Foden's got 10 goals in 18 FA Cup games since his debut in January 2019. Shows he loves this competition. He's performed well in this competition. So about to hit the 45th minute. About 30 seconds before half time. De Bruyne with a swing in here. No, he goes to Phil Foden instead. Cross in here. Chance! Good crossing by Foden. Really, really aggressive crossing. Whipped him with that left foot from the free kick. Diaz was sliding to get something on it, but he couldn't do Ruben Diaz. And it is behind for a goal kick, but he's a mile away from it actually. He needs to be a lot further forward. He sort of stuttered his run. And that's what made it difficult. And goal kick Burnley. To be taken by Peacock Farrell, heavily involved like Ortega today. Alderkill. 1 added minute of time here at the Etihad. Here out to Roberts on the right hand side. Cullen. Well, Burnley have to come out a bit more of a different side, won't they, in the second half, if they are to pick up any points here today. They're not playing for points, are they? Playing for the chance to go to the FA Cup semi-final, quarter-final maybe. Bayer. Zauri's made his run, but Bayer didn't look for him. Centre-back still looking. Maatsen. If City can go in 2-0 at half-time, they'll be pretty happy after this performance. I don't think City have been electric. I don't think City have been incredibly great. Well, they've got the job done so far. Back they go. Do Burnley. Alderkill. Lovely pass by Goodmanson around the corner to Maatsen, who bursts forward from left back here. Maatsen. Wide to Zauri. Tight to him is Kyle Walker. Zauri behind to Maatsen. Great play by Burnley. Maatsen with a strike here. Ortega with a save. Saves it only up and towards the far post. Rico Lewis heads it away. And that is half-time. The referee blows the whistle. Manchester City 2. Burnley 0 at the Etihad Stadium. Kompany's return hasn't gone as planned maybe for Vincent Kompany. Haaland with a double. And he's looking for that hat-trick, I'm sure, in the second half. We'll be right back after this short break. We will cover the second half. Some of you guys actually have predicted maybe 2-0, 3-0. Your predictions might come right. We'll see you guys very soon for City versus Burnley in the second 45 minutes.
saying. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy. But maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. How do you do? Cause I'm feeling so good. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it. Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. How do you do? Cause I'm feeling so good. Cause you make me love my imperfections.
quick to hit ignore. Buku bitches in my bed. I got scales all on my floor. I got money on the line, plus I'm clocking it galore. I got bitches kissing bitches, all them bitches go explore. I'm feeling way up. I stay up. Put your bitch on my Snapchat while I make her. She want a chance with me, cause she know I'm a rapper. I give a but I never get feelings, cause shorty, I know what you after. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. Watch I look, I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand in my put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poopy, your biscuit tookin'. I'm not the type to go with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando. From the ceiling fan to the damn floor, trying to stack my money up. Cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay. See the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
Trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like, now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
Welcome back to the second half of Manchester City versus Burnley. We've had some information from inside the ground for our on-site correspondent, Christy, in the comments, who says from a vibrant cauldron of expectation that is the Etihad, both teams have been given their all in this historic FA Cup quarter-final, being an indomitable league champions and their Lancastrian opponents. Kompany stood like a colossus during that half. For the first half, surveying his familial home with a tear in his eye, Pep watched and prowled the touchline like a puppet master. My half-to-half summary: Ortega messes about, Haaland certainly doesn't. Quite right, Chris. That's great from Chris there. He's given us all the information about what from inside the ground. City do lead by 2-0 at the Etihad against Vincent Kompany, against his Burnley side. A great atmosphere, says Chris, with the Burnley fans making a lot of noise, and that is going to be fantastic, isn't it? For Haaland to get perhaps another hat-trick again here today. That is something that is looking very much likely. So thank you very much, Chris, for being at the ground and giving us some correspondence from in the ground. He's tried to get an interview with Pep Guardiola, he told me, but Pep wasn't having it. So instead, he's come to the We Are City channel to let us know all that's going on, and that is how big we are here on the channel. We might only have just under 5,000 subscribers, or just over 4,500 subscribers, but we are pretty important. We are City. So second half is not too far away. Erling Haaland is the big talking point, isn't he, on 41 goals. But a big talking point as well is, of course, Vincent Kompany's Burnley, because they have been pretty good, I thought, in that first half. They've had a few chances to, capitalise, but they're lacking that final killer pass. I feel like if Burnley had maybe a Kevin De Bruyne, maybe a Phil Foden in their side, just one player like that, I think you'd see a Burnley side that are much, much better than they performed so far. Burnley side with that quality to find their way through, to find that, that killer pass, and to find that goal. Of course, the finish at the end of it is difficult as well. Ortega is City's most used player today. He's had a lot of the ball in the first half, and that has been frustrating as a City fan. That's been frustrating as a football fan, seeing Ortega have a lot of the ball. We want Ortega to, be making the saves, the goalkeeper, and maybe setting us off on attacks in the build-up. But, I mean, the guy is basically playing in centre-back and just passing it around here and there all game. The Burnley keeper's doing pretty much a similar sort of role in Peacock Farrell. But City at 2-0 up now. They might not want to take any risks, but we need them to. Now, City with a win here today would be in a really good position in the FA Cup to go towards, the road to the final of the FA Cup. City are in a title race, and City certainly are in a Champions League race as well. Could Manchester City do the treble this season? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, technically, that is on the cards. And you think of Liverpool last season, everyone said, Liverpool were going to do the quadruple. In the end, they came away with, was it one trophy? Possibly two. In the end, they didn't do the quadruple, which was supposedly about to happen. Could Manchester City do the treble? The FA Cup, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, that would be one incredible clean sweep. And would Pep Guardiola still stay at City after that? I think he would do. I think he certainly would want to stay at City after that. Could we see a couple of the maybe young players come on? For example, Cole Palmer, Sergio Gomez, Calvin Phillips come from Manchester City. I think that is definitely one we could see happening. City are back on the pitch now here at the Etihad. Erling Haaland alongside Julian Alvarez, who they really have a good connection together, the two players, which is great to see. And they work very well playing together. Vincent Kompany comes out for the second half looking a little disappointed maybe in the first half performance. Kompany's getting his players on the pitch, getting his players doing a bit of a warm-up here in front of him, just to see how they do him. And Burnley are going to make some changes here at half-time. Jack Cork is one of the opposition players that are going to come on, and so is Ashley Barnes. So two players that are, former Premier League players, the experienced players. So Foster off, Ashley Barnes on, the number 12 for the number 10. And as for Burnley, it is the number 7, Goodmanson off for captain Jack Cork. Ashton says, I think Burnley will slip, Arsenal will slip for sure. We can win the FA Cup. Much luck in the Champions League against Bayern and Real and in the final. Yeah, I mean, it's all very possible, isn't it? Just think it's very unlikely in my eyes. Burnley can sign me, says Ashton. Yeah, right back. It could be better than Vitinho. Maybe they will sign it right back. Not give away as many fouls as Connor Roberts. So, second half underway. De Bruyne with kick-off. Ortega long. And let's see if we see a few more goals in the second half. Haaland heads it on all the way to Maatsen, who's been probably the most impressive Burnley player on that field today. You let us know what you think, but I think Maatsen's been pretty good so far. Peacock Farrell long, pressed by Julian Alvarez. Rodri loses out on the header, but Diaz back forward to Mahrez into Rodri. Dispossessed Rodri. And it's a free kick to Burnley. Rodri frustrated. Diaz picks the ball up and throws it back to Burnley and says, well, it's back there, the free kick. Burnley throw it back forward. And they're going to take the free kick here. It was a late one by Rodri, who stuck his leg out and ended up tripping the Burnley player. I want to see a Haaland hat-trick, though. I think a Haaland hat-trick and we all go home happy, don't we? Vitinho for Burnley. Barnes. Back to Jack Cork. Alvarez in there on Cork and pressing and working hard. Roberts long and forward. Dealt with by Rodri. Down to Kevin De Bruyne. There's so much space for Mahrez in the far post. De Bruyne wins it back. De Bruyne still. Kevin De Bruyne. Foul by Vitinho. It's a free kick, Manchester City. Vitinho with a push on KDB. A chance for De Bruyne maybe or Phil Foden to swing one in. Well, Vitinho's looked a bit shaky at right back. Right wing back, wherever he's playing. De Bruyne dribbling predominantly his right foot. He gets pushed by Vitinho. The Belgian wearing that captain's armband goes down and free kick Manchester City. Well, if we get a good ball in here, we might not score initially, but Haaland will be there prowling in the box, waiting. And we know he's got a chance to put one in. I think they'll win the Premier League. We have to play Arsenal. I have that feeling they will bottle against someone. I hope you're right. Phil Foden with an in-swinger. Aymeric Laporte in there. Out to Rico Lewis. Across to Mahrez. Far post to Haaland. Across the box. No. Dealt by Roberts. Foden in there again. Lewis down to Phil Foden. Back out to Kevin De Bruyne. And De Bruyne all the way back to Stefan Ortega. De Bruyne and Ortega, I think, quite good friends. Ortega said his best friend in the City side is Kevin De Bruyne. Here is Ortega. Into Rodri. Back to Ortega again. Forward by Ortega. Right through the middle to Erling Haaland, who takes it on his left foot. Just can't control it. It was a very difficult 1-2 control for Erling Haaland. And back they go. Burnley back to the goalkeeper, Peacock Farrell. To try and play out with his left foot, which he does do. Into Jack Cork, the captain. Takes it on the chest here. Can he turn Cork? He can do, but he's drilled it back a few yards back. Into Bayer. They have to play against Newcastle. They're good against top teams. Also Liverpool. Yeah, I think they'd beat Liverpool, to be honest with you, Ashley. I don't think Manchester City would beat Liverpool. I think City will really struggle in that game against Liverpool, but I certainly think Arsenal will beat Liverpool. I don't know why. I feel like Liverpool would really be up for the City game, like that United game. They've turned up in the City United games, haven't they? But then been poor in the other games, pretty much all the other games in the season. Bayer for Burnley. Pascal Alvarez into Barnes, dropping deep. Good play from Burnley. Wide to Zauri here. Got Maatsen, Teller running through the middle here. Zauri, can he switch the play? Should do. Zauri switches the play, but not towards Vitinho, and he perhaps should have done. Connor Roberts. Vitinho wide right. Vitinho. Cork. Clipping behind by Burnley. Diaz is there, headed away, and Rico Lewis straight into Jack Cork and behind for a goal kick. Well played, Rico Lewis. Well played, Rico Lewis there. I think he was looking for the pass into Phil Foden to lead perhaps a counter-attack. But instead, he deflects off Jack Cork, and City win a free kick anyway, or win a goal kick anyway. So, it works well for City. Ortega to take this goal kick and to send it long this time, not a short one. Up long towards Erling Haaland. Haaland lets it run away, and Maatsen gets there. And back they go to the keeper. If Bournemouth can beat Liverpool, so can we. Yeah, I think that actually. I just think that they just seem to turn up against City Liverpool. I mean, they beat City earlier in the season when they never should have done. Burnley give it away here, throwing for Aymeric Laporte. Pep Guardiola is saying go forward, go forward. De Bruyne to take it. De Bruyne leaves it to Rico Lewis. City keep taking the time here. Lewis is not the tallest, is he? 5'6" maybe, 5'7". Down to De Bruyne. Pushing the back by Jack Cork. De Bruyne's not happy. Back they go to Ortega. Laporte. To bring the ball out for Manchester City at the back here. Foden trying to help his side out defensively. Ortega. Who's just has so much of the ball. It's very frustrating, isn't it, as a City fan? Probably as a Burnley fan as well, just seeing the City goalkeeper knock the ball around for most of the game. Walker. And the channeling behind to Julian Alvarez. A great ball by Walker. Alvarez just might get there. He does get there, Alvarez. Up against Bayer. Alvarez, first time crossing. It's a deep one. It's high up to Phil Foden. Foden takes it well. Handball by Jack Cork. It's a free kick to Manchester City. Right on the edge of the Burnley box here on the left-hand side. And this could be a real good chance for Kevin De Bruyne to put one in here. I mean, Jack Cork comes across Phil Foden here and just punches the ball away with his left hand. Unintentionally. To be fair, he's just trying to pull Phil Foden back. Well, it looks like City won't shoot from here. Looks like Kevin De Bruyne is going to put this one in instead. Captain over it, the Belgian. Ball put down, and Peacock Farrell is going to organise his wall eventually. Who cares about Ortega's touches? We're winning, says Ashton. Yeah, true. But I just don't like the fact that he's just on the ball all the time. The goalkeeper's had more touch than the outfield players. So free kick City. Kevin De Bruyne over this one. Will he shoot? There's a really gaping hole in that Burnley net to shoot, actually. De Bruyne gets it absolutely 1,000,000,000% wrong and sends it completely up and into the stands here, Kevin De Bruyne. That's so poor. I thought he was going to try and whip that one to the near post into the top corner. Instead, I don't know how he tries to hit it, but it's completely wrong. And it's just, I mean, straight out for a goal kick. Incredibly wrong by Kevin De Bruyne. A poor attempt by a top quality player. Rico Lewis away is a foul on Aymeric Laporte here by Burnley. Too aggressive on Laporte, and City get the free kick. It was Nathan Tellett on loan from Southampton. He's a bit all over the player. And Laporte to take the free kick to Manchester City. Rodri. Turns. Back to Laporte. Back to Ortega. Stefan Ortega, long again up towards Erling Haaland. Haaland tries to nod it on towards Alvarez. Burnley deal with it. And Elder kill back to his goalkeeper. Peacock foul under pressure from Haaland here. Haaland nearly gets in there. Out to Maatsen. Won back by Riyad Mahrez. Alvarez. Into Haaland. Unlucky Julian Alvarez. Burnley found their own player there in Maatsen. It was Bayer. Mahrez. Diaz. Out to Phil Foden left hand side. Nodded down to Haaland. Away by Burnley. Foden slips up, picks it back up. Rico Lewis. Diaz. Rodri. Rodri into Kevin De Bruyne here. Going behind to Phil Foden. De Bruyne decides against it. KDB still. And back he goes to Laporte. Ashton believes Mahrez is better than Salah at the moment, I'd say so. Rodri. Wide left to Phil Foden here. Great touch from the left foot by Foden into Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne looks to step up, takes it. Can't get the ball in. Rodri in behind to Kyle Walker. Good run by Kyle. Across the box first time. Riyad Mahrez! Saved by Peacock Farrell. He should score there, Mahrez. Diaz through the back of the Burnley man, Ashley Barnes, and a free kick to Burnley. But Mahrez there has to score. Ball out wide by Rodri to Walker. Who's onside. Pulls it back to Mahrez. Just like a free shot on the edge of the smallest box. Mahrez side foots it right into the near Peacock Farrell. I was certain he'd score there, Mahrez. But no, straight to the goalkeeper who makes the save. Here's Alvarez. Rodri. Rodri for City. Rodri with a shot here. And sends one up into the stands here, does Rodri. Should have worked that wide, I think, to Mahrez. And he went for goal, Rodri, and sends it a mile over the goal. Goal kick, Burnley. Burnley don't really look like they're going to get back into this, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Vincent Kompany with the cap and suit on. Getting completely soaked in the pouring rain at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester. Long ball followed by Burnley. Diaz is beating Ashley Barnes to it. Kevin De Bruyne away from Jack Cork and out wide to Riyad Mahrez. Haaland chased it down. Mahrez not in the wide position. Burnley behind here. Ashley Barnes and Ortega beats him to it. And plays it forward in behind to Haaland here. And a foot race with Bayer. Haaland gets there. Haaland. Oh, great touch by Haaland. Haaland! Haaland! Oh, straight at the goalkeeper. Good save by Peacock Farrell. I thought Haaland was about to get his hat-trick there. Walker wins it back for City. Walker still. Walker into Haaland again. Alvarez in there. Heads it the wrong way and Burnley lump it away. Well, I thought Haaland was about to see a hat-trick there. Skipped inside the Burnley man, Bayer. Hits the shot. Unfortunately, Peacock Farrell's feet. Really good chance for Haaland. It was set up for him by Stefan Ortega and then he got assist the goalkeeper. Played it over the top. Haaland stronger than Bayer. Skips inside him. Oh, it's a good save by Peacock Farrell. Unlucky there, Erling Haaland. He doesn't leather that one in the top corner. Catches it well. Nearly puts it in the back of the net. Off the knee of Peacock Farrell. That left knee has saved Peacock Farrell twice today. In the second half. Once from Mahrez and now once from Haaland. Oh, he's so unlucky. I think if he gets more lift on that Haaland, he scores there. City on the counter again here. Here's Kyle Walker. Walker. Into Alvarez. Julian Alvarez. Alvarez, a shot blocked away. Out to Walker. Crossed in and away by Cullen. Rodri picks it up. City keep going here. Rodri. Mahrez. Surely that hat-trick comes for Haaland here. Do you think Pep subbed Haaland because he could break Messi's record? I don't think so, Adjustin. I think he played 60 minutes. He wanted to play him again today. Time to rest him. Here's Laporte. Wide to Phil Foden on his left-hand side. Phil. And back he goes to Ortega. Haaland will be very disappointed he didn't get his hat-trick there. Ortega wide to Diaz. Into Alvarez. Back to Diaz. Alvarez. Back into Walker. In behind to Riyad Mahrez. Keeps it in here, Mahrez. City played a lot better in the second half. Alvarez. Haaland lets it run here. Haaland tries to play it wide. Alvarez. De Bruyne. De Bruyne with a shot here. Headed over the bar by a Burnley man. Behind for a corner for Manchester City. Captain De Bruyne went for goal from range. And it's Jordan Bayer heading it over the bar and away. I'm not even sure if it was a shot by De Bruyne. It seemed a little bit too light for a shot. Perhaps a one towards goal. No, it was a shot. I think it was one that Peacock Farrell would have saved. Corner ball for City to be taken by Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez swings it in. So lofted into Kevin De Bruyne. Foden heads it on here and Peacock Farrell makes the save. If Foden leaves that there, Kevin De Bruyne is behind him for a shot. Burnley launch it long quickly to up towards Teller. Foot race with Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker, of course, beats Teller. No surprises there, and Walker back to Ortega. Great physicality, great pace from Kyle Walker. Diaz. Rico Lewis. Back to Ortega. And across to Aymeric Laporte. De Bruyne offered a passing angle. Laporte looks long towards Phil Foden, who gets a head in there, Phil Foden. Down to Kevin De Bruyne, just misses his head, but he falls to Rodri instead. Back into Kevin De Bruyne. KDB. Wide to Mahrez. Mahrez here. Bad pass into Haaland, who gets there. Back onto Mahrez. Mahrez into Phil Foden. Foden across the keeper, off the post. Haaland on the rebound! And you know what time it is. It's hat-trick time. Haaland with a hat-trick, 3-0. Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Foden with a shot across the keeper that comes off the post. And who is there? Right place at the right time. Erling Haaland to put it in. Alfie Haaland celebrates. Hat-trick for Haaland again. 3-0 Manchester City. Great play by City, actually. In the build-up. Combination play was fantastic. From back to front. Played it from the goalkeeper forward. Wonderful play from City. City get it wide to Phil Foden, who shots across the goalkeeper. Good play by Haaland here with Mahrez, by the way. Little 1-2. Mahrez into Foden. Shot across the keeper off the post. I knew he's there waiting, but Erling Haaland to smash it in. Loving the goals because MK, well, he's just always... What is crazy is, I'm going to tell you something really, really crazy now. If you play video games, and you play FIFA or PES or whatever you play, football video games, when the ball comes off the post, it always seems to fall to the opposition striker. And it's so frustrating. And you say to yourself, but in real life, the ball never comes off the post and falls to the striker. It never comes off the post and falls to the opposition team every time. But with Erling Haaland, no matter where that ball deflects, it always falls to Erling Haaland. It's like he's got a magnet, and he just picks the ball up and puts it in the net again. Haaland hat-trick, City 3. Walker is doing really well. Giving away to Burnley, get it into the box here, and then straight to Ortega. And City back in possession. Haaland hat-trick. 2 games, 8 goals, said Ashton. 2 games, 8 goals for Erling Haaland. The guy is not human. Just an unbelievable record. An absolutely unbelievable record for Erling Haaland. Ortega. Diaz. Forward to Haaland here. Not the best of first touches by Haaland. Tries to flick it out to Phil Foden. Roberts gets there ahead of them. Burnley back down. Foden picks it up for his side here. And Haaland's going forward again. Foden wide to Riyad Mahrez. Bit of a wide one from Phil Foden here. Mahrez on his jogs across to it here. Mahrez against Maatsen. Mahrez. Out to Rodri. Foden. Rodri. Has this chance gone here? So happy for the Haaland hat-tricks as far as Lukaku scored 8 in a whole last season for Chelsea, says Ashton. Exactly. He's got 8 in his last 2 games. City's chance goes a begging there. City's chance, they lose it out because Foden's heavy pass to Mahrez. Foden here. Back to Diaz. Walker. Foden. Rodri. Rodri over to Laporte. 43 goals in all competitions, says Ashton. I think he's about 4 goals away from the actual record of a Premier League player scoring goals in all competitions. Foden wide to Riyad Mahrez here. Riyad Mahrez here. Mahrez. In behind to De Bruyne. De Bruyne. Alvarez! 4-0 Manchester City. Great play by City. And Julian Alvarez gets his goal now. The man with a new contract has made it 4. Brilliant play by City. Across the box by Kevin De Bruyne, who's played a little 1-2 in behind with Riyad Mahrez. And Alvarez makes it 4. Brilliant for Alvarez to get his goal as well. A Haaland hat-trick and Alvarez got one as now. No one predicted 4-0 to MK. I think 3-0 was the most people predicted. But it's 4-0 Manchester City, and it's Julian Alvarez. Kevin De Bruyne finds him. It's great play by City again. Phil Foden involved in a central area. Wide right to Riyad Mahrez. De Bruyne on the overlap. Mahrez through the fullback and defender. De Bruyne across the box here. And Alvarez with a tap-in. And Haaland celebrates. Applauds his teammate. He doesn't care if he didn't get the goal there. Lovely movement from Haaland, who actually creates the space for Julian Alvarez. And it is 4-0 Manchester City. What a ball by Mahrez through to De Bruyne. And he kept his cool here. On a plate for Julian. And it's 4-0 Manchester City. And what a game of goals this has been. 4-0 now in 62 minutes. Julian Alvarez with the goal. It's absolutely fantastic football, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. And Manchester City make changes now. And Erling Haaland goes off. And he's rested now. The man with the hat-trick. Off comes Haaland. Off comes a few other City players. We'll have to see who has been made the changes here. So, Ruben Diaz is off. Manuel Akanji is on. Erling Haaland is off. Cole Palmer is on. City's two big boys are taking off. And look at this again. Haaland a hat-trick within 60 minutes. And he's taken off to be rested. Imagine if he played 90 minutes. Crazy. I think Calvin Phillips is going to be coming on as well pretty soon. Akanji's lost out on a header here to Ashley Barnes. And away to Kyle Walker and long up to Julian Alvarez. Maatsen against Alvarez. He's done really well there. Maatsen Alvarez might just get there ahead of Bayer. Kicked into Alvarez. Taken down by Cole Palmer with a heavy touch. And he's lost it here, Cole Palmer. Burnley win it back. Kevin De Bruyne goes and wins it back for his City side. And back to Ortega by KDB. I think Red Eye predicted 9-0. And he's good at predictions, so maybe. You're very right, Ashton. Red Eye tends to be really good at the predictions. He tends to get them pretty close to nearly perfect. And also, he gets the scorers as well, doesn't he, most of the time? Which is really impressive from Red Eye. He might be right again. I mean, I don't see 9 personally. Especially Calvin Phillips coming on and so on. Haaland coming off. But you just never know. De Bruyne back to Ortega. Obafemi has come on here. Ex-Southampton and Swansea man. For Nathan Teller, he's come up top. Obafemi. Here's Rodri for Manchester City. Rodri. Foden. Got Walker in a wide area. Foden. Wide to Walker, intercepted by Maatsen. Foden then fouled by Ashley Barnes. Ozari, free kick City. Foden takes it quickly. Well, the substitutions are going to come on here. So, coming off the number 82 is Rico Lewis. He is to be replaced by our number 21, Sergio Gomez. And it is Calvin Phillips who is going to come on the field now. For I assume the number 16, Rodri. It is Rodri. Rodri off, Calvin Phillips on. So 4 substitutions made by Manchester City now. With 1 left to be able to be made. Vincent Kompany gives some instructions to Captain Josh, Vice-Captain Josh Cullen. Jack Corker's taken that armband. So Rodri off, Phillips on, Lewis off, Gomez on. Phillips and Gomez are sort of like the fringe players at Manchester City, aren't they? At the moment. He said hat-trick Haaland and Alvarez too. I don't remember the other scorers. Wow. He's close, isn't he? I mean, if Alvarez gets another one now, that's 5. That's 40. You've still got to score 4 more goals, haven't we? If Alvarez gets another one. Which would be very difficult, but, I mean, it's not beyond us, is it, really? Foden picks it up here for City. Alvarez. Switch out to Cole Palmer on this left-hand side. Cole Palmer. Palmer. De Bruyne in the overlap. Palmer. Terrible pass by Palmer. Phillips wins it back for City. Gomez. Not impressed by Palmer every time he plays. He's just so bad. De Bruyne on the overlap. He's got to go on the overlapping run for De Bruyne. Instead, he takes an age to pass it. In that time, De Bruyne's offside. The chance goes missing. Here's Ortega for City. Phillips. Akanji. Back he goes to goalkeeper Ortega. Stefan Ortega for Manchester City. Ortega continues to bring it forward. Burnley don't close him down. Ortega into Kevin De Bruyne. Laporte. Wide left to Cole Palmer. But Laporte's passed it straight out of play for a Burnley throw-in there. Not the best of passes from Aymeric Laporte. I mean, Vincent Kompany side 4-0 down. They tried to cause an upset. They had a decent first half, but the second half has just not gone their way at all. City have been very much in control in the second half. Bayer. Alderhill. Long forward by Connor Roberts. Header back by Aymeric Laporte. Phone in there again. Beaten by Jack Cork. Taken out by Calvin Phillips and out to Riyad Mahrez. Foden. Phillips, I think. Foden's gone through the middle now. Alongside Kevin De Bruyne. Akanji. Great pass into Kevin De Bruyne who can turn. He takes a bit of a heavy touch. Wide left to Cole Palmer. De Bruyne. Phillips. Good touch by Phillips. Tackle here. Back into Kevin De Bruyne. Good play by Calvin Phillips. Kevin De Bruyne here for Manchester City. Options De Bruyne. Wide to Phil. Foden, is it? I'm not sure. Cross it across the box here. Saved by Peacock Farrell. Cole Palmer on the rebound. Even he scored. 5-0 City. It's Cole Palmer with a goal. Peacock Farrell palms it into Cole Palmer's path. Ridai is getting there, says MK. I don't think Vinny will be that angry. No, maybe not against Manchester City. 5-0 Manchester City now. Cole Palmer with a goal. I think it was Phil Foden tried to cross it across the box with his right foot on the far side. Peacock Farrell just palms it away straight to Cole Palmer as a tap-in. But great play from Calvin Phillips in the midfield, by the way. Finds De Bruyne. Wide to Foden. Cross deflects. And Palmer with a tap-in. 5-0 City. Good finish by Cole Palmer on the right foot, actually. Getting a goal for himself, a tap-in. Foden's cross, actually. Foden looks to cross it across the box with his right foot. And it's sort of dipping in towards the far corner. So, Peacock Farrell has to save it. But that time, Connor Roberts has lost the goalkeeper. It's a tap-in for Cole Palmer. It's 5-0 Manchester City now. Palmer always scores in the FA Cup. All of his last season's goals came in this competition, says Ashton. That's a good stat to know. Well, yeah, Cole Palmer. And FA Cup goals he knows, doesn't he? I think he'll go on loan next season, Cole Palmer. I think City he's just not quite at the level they expect him to be at. Wide right to Vitinho. Into Obafemi. Well, Burnley have got nothing to lose now, have they? Maybe they'll try and go forward a little bit more. Bayer gives it away here to Riyad Mahrez. Luckily, Bayer's quick. And gets to the end of it. Mahrez very unlucky there not to lead a counter-attack. Bounced off Mahrez's boot. You think he's in behind, but Bayer very quick to recover and get to the end of his mistaken pass that nearly deflected off Riyad Mahrez in behind. The Poznan's back at the Etihad. The Poznan's going round again. Long forward by Burnley. Giving away to Kevin De Bruyne. Wide to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez here. Mahrez, step overs. Mahrez on the right foot. Saved by the keeper. Alvarez. Alvarez! Blocked by Burnley on the line here nearly. Connor Roberts. Could have been 6. Mahrez. Alvarez nearly got his second there. Here's Phil Foden. Mahrez in behind to Calvin Phillips of all people. Phillips. Phillips with a shot here. Went for goal himself, Phillips, and over the bar. Could have pulled it back to Palmer or Alvarez. Instead, he went for goal, Calvin Phillips. Smashed it over the bar. But not a bad strike by Calvin Phillips. Ooh, hits this. He catches that very cleanly, Phillips. Alvarez had a chance before that. Came off the knees of Connor Roberts, but very close to going in the back of the net. Very close to Alvarez getting his second of the game and City making it 6-0. And Burnley are feeling the pressure now, I'm sure. City fans are cheering away. Surely singing songs about Vincent Kompany. Long ball by Burnley. Mahrez beaten to it by Ashley Barnes. Wide to the right hand side for Burnley. Taking on Kyle Walker is Zauri. Beats Walker once, twice. Onto that right foot. Dipped towards the far post of the cross, but couldn't get on it. Vitinho. Palmer pressing. Vitinho back to Connor Roberts. Roberts runs straight into Sergio Gomez and behind. The pass into Ortega. No free kick, says the referee. Back with the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega for Manchester City. 5-0 City here today. Ortega rolls it out to Akanji. Phillips. Oh, Phillips with a shocking pass straight towards the opposition. Straight into Burnley's path there. He was expecting Mahrez to be on the right hand side, but Mahrez wasn't. City pressing still. Got a fifth substitution they can make, Manchester City. Whether they make it, I don't know. Back to Peacock Farrell. Under pressure here from Alvarez. Peacock Farrell. Clips one out to the far left-hand side. To Zauri, intercepted by Phillips, but still falls into a Burnley path. And Ashley Barnes in behind the City defence here. And Burnley with a chance here. Obafemi in the box. Across to Obafemi. Sergio Gomez away. Mahrez wins it back in the box and City back in possession. Well done, Sergio Gomez. Read the danger. Cut it out. Mahrez to Ortega. Ortega into Foden. Nodded on to Alvarez. Down to Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne. Back in behind to Julian Alvarez. What a ball by De Bruyne behind Bayer. Alvarez. Pushed and pulled by Bayer. Alvarez hits him down. Alvarez! It's 2 for Julian Alvarez. It's an absolutely incredible assist from Kevin De Bruyne. 6-0 Manchester City. 9 is on. Alvarez has got 2. Is Ridai a man from the future? He just might be. Is Ridai a man from the future? Double for Alvarez. 6-0 City. 6-0 Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne with an absolutely unbelievable pass. He could play it around the outside of the defender. He plays it in behind the defender. It makes it so hard for Bayer to turn around and try and get on the end of it. Unbelievable pass by De Bruyne. It comes, by the way, from an Ortega pass onto Foden. Flicked onto De Bruyne. Delays the pass. What a ball in behind Bayer. Alvarez onto the end of it. He sits down Bayer then. And then he slams it in with the left foot. Near post past Peacock Farrell. Let's go, says Ultra Gamer. What a goal. The pass from De Bruyne is unbelievable. Absolutely sits down Bayer. Slams it in, Alvarez. That is absolutely brilliant from football. And again, it starts from Stefan Ortega. I've, moaned about Ortega being involved too much in this game. But he is leading attacks from his own. It's Alderhill, actually, that gets sat down by Alvarez. Sits him down. Slams it in. 6-0 City. See you later, Burnley. What a goal from Manchester City. 6-0. Conspiracy theories about Ridai into the chat, says Ashton. Is Ridai from the future? Has Ridai come back from the future? Ultra Games says City are going to win the FA Cup. Well, I hope so, Ultra Gamer. Only Burnley today and bigger games, bigger fish to fry, as they say. Oh, Burnley have lost it again here. Kevin De Bruyne dispossesses the Burnley man here. Referee says free kick. It wasn't, but he's give it anyway. Trying to give Burnley a bit of a let-off. Vincent Kompany on the sidelines. What can I say, Vincent? Here's to you, Vincent Kompany. City loves you more than you know. But at the moment, we're destroying your team. Ultra Gamer thinks the Champions League and the Premier League as well. Well, it's all on. It's all a possibility, isn't it, Ultra Gamer? Jack Cork, back to the goalkeeper. Peacock Farrell. Burnley still continue to play their game. They don't lose their principles playing out from the back. Back they go. To Burnley. Peacock Farrell here. City press him. Connor Roberts, Vitinho. At this point, Ortega needs to win a lottery, buy a club from the Sheikh and start himself, because no matter what he does, Edison will be Pep's favourite. I think after this performance, Ortega's got to start, really. His passing has actually led City on most of the attacks. And when he's been called into action, he's been there to make the saves, hasn't he? Roberts. Forward towards Vitinho. Won by Laporte, the header. Palmer heads it behind for a throw-in. Poor header by Cole Palmer. For a big man, he didn't seem to get up pretty, well there. He's quite tall, Cole Palmer. I think he's about 6 foot. Thrown back to Alderhill. Peacock Farrell. Oh, messing around here. Peacock Farrell! Alvarez with a tackle! And it nearly deflects off Alvarez into the back of the net. Peacock Farrell messing around, little step over. Alvarez read it, slid in. It nearly come off him into the back of the net for a hat-trick here for Julian Alvarez. Very unlucky. Very unlucky, Julian Alvarez, not to put that in the back of the net. It hits his boot and he doesn't know if it's going anywhere. Burnley messing around at the back and nearly getting caught out. Vitinho comes off for Burnley. And Charlie Taylor comes on. Charlie Taylor, centre-back, experienced player. And Maatsen on loan from Chelsea also leaves the field now for Burnley. Bastien comes on as well. Midfielder, Belgian. a player Vincent Kompany knew well from his time and elect. Played in the Belgian division. Saw him first hand. Experienced the player. Saw him play against his side. Forward by Burnley here. Long ball. Laporte beats Barnes. And the referee says a free kick to Burnley again. I think the referee here is doing what you expect sometimes from referees. That they feel sorry a little bit for Burnley. So he'll just give them free kicks and things to just make sure City can't get too many more goals against them. Which is wrong, really. He should be impartial throughout the game, but I can understand it. Here's Bastien, giving away to Kevin De Bruyne. And back to Aymeric Laporte. City go back to Stefan Ortega. Ortega. Akanji. Followed by Akanji. Given away to Burnley by City. Akanji's pass can't find Mahrez or Julian Alvarez. Peacock Farrell. Back they go to Peacock Farrell again. Cullen, Peacock Farrell. Burnley continue to play it back out from the back. Burnley, they certainly haven't, dropped their principles. They're playing the way they want to play. I don't think it will get to 9. I think Red-Eye might be wrong there, but I might be wrong. Burnley forward here. Bayer well played. Roberts. Bastien back to Roberts. Back they go again, Burnley. Little ball roll. Roberts. Burnley to bring it forward. No. It won't be 9-0 to Ultra Gamer. Well, you wouldn't think so, Ultra Gamer, but Red-Eye is a time traveller. So, you never know. Burnley try and play it forward. City win it with Calvin Phillips. Cole Palmer can't take it. Bastien looks to play it long. Just play it into the channel here. Manuel Akanji across. Straight back to Burnley. Calvin Phillips in there. He's got to be stronger in the challenge there, Calvin Phillips. Seems to just stroll across to it and not win it properly. Roberts. Burnley having a bit of possession here. We never thought he'd get to 6 as MK. Very true. Ashley wants City to score 3 goals to Red-Eye. Burnley come forward. Nearly give it away. Bayer. Wide to the left back, Charlie Taylor. Wide left to Zauri. Tries to take on Kyle Walker, who just takes it off him. Good defending by Walker. And Aymeric Laporte sends it back to Ortega. He told me your favourite player is De Bruyne, so Kevin De Bruyne to score assist 3 goals for your fan. Red-Eye's favourite player is James Maddison, actually. He's a big fan of James Maddison. Outside of City. Gomez. Ortega. Laporte. Tim and Akanji have swapped positions at the moment. Here's Manuel Akanji for Manchester City. Gomez across to Calvin Phillips. Phillips into Akanji again. Akanji. Palmer. Gomez. Palmer. Akanji. City continues to play out from the back. Into Calvin Phillips. I know it's Laporte. Akanji. Game has slowed down in tempo massively now. City seem to have just taken their foot right off the gas now. Conserving energy. Laporte and Akanji keep playing it between each other. Gomez. Ortega. Ortega still. Into Laporte once more. Burnley keep the press going. Walker. Laporte. Laporte across to Manuel Akanji. Can City bring it out from the back here through Manuel Akanji? They can do. Here's Akanji. Into Cole Palmer. De Bruyne. Back to Akanji. Gomez. De Bruyne. And behind for a throw-in. Across came Connor Roberts to Kevin De Bruyne. Pep Guardiola. Giving some instructions here. I don't know if the 5th substitution will come on for Manchester City. No real young players on the bench. Maybe, someone like Adari Mabude or Carlos Borges should have made the bench today. Akanji. De Bruyne makes a run. That creates space for Cole Palmer. Palmer balling behind to Alvarez here. It's a lovely pass by Palmer. Unfortunately, Alvarez can't get the end of it for his hat-trick. Peacock Farrell lays it off to Alderkill. My favourite player is Mahrez, by the way, alongside Gundogan, says Ashton. Right, okay. I didn't expect Mahrez as your favourite player. I don't know who I would have thought it would have been, but I didn't expect Mahrez there, Ashton. Very nice left-hand side now. Zauri. Zauri. Cullen. Barely taking the time. Roberts. Cullen. Why they go to Charlie Taylor? Taylor the cross in. It's across the box here. Ortega punches it away and stops any Burnley player getting on the end of it. Proactive goalkeeping from Stefan Ortega. Burnley with a throw-in. You've had more of the game in these last 5 minutes. Connor Roberts. City could easily catch them on the counter though, I think. Burnley giving away to Gomez. Now he's been spun by Obafemi. Great play. Gomez weak. Cross across the box here. Strike by Ashley Barnes just past the near post. Under pressure from Akanji with that is port from Sergio Gomez, who's actually spun by Bastien. Completely shrugs off Gomez there. I mean, he's not a fullback, is he? With every passing game that he plays, every few minutes that he plays, you see that he's not City quality. You've seen it there again. Beaten to it by Bastien across the box. Akanji's there just in case. Luckily, Ashley Barnes can't get his foot wrapped round that ball. Put it in the near post. It's behind for a goal kick, which City have already taken. Stefan Ortega walks it out. We need a performance to continue this in the season, says Fires. Yeah, I mean, if we play like this till the end of the season, in every game, like we did against Leipzig, like we have today, we'll win the Premier League, we'll win the Champions League, win the FA Cup, but it's very hard to keep this performance level up. Ortega here. Phillips. Round 2, Akanji. Good play by City under pressure here. Oh, bad pass by Foden to Phillips. City get away with it. Akanji. Oh, lovely play by Akanji. Dribbling past Burnley players in front of his own box here. Across to Laporte. Laporte, bad pass here. He's going to go short to Cole Palmer, Laporte. We wanted him to go in behind. I think Mara isn't much appreciated by the fans for all these years, so I fell in love with him, especially last season when he was top goal scorer in all these competitions, and I loved him from his Leicester days, yeah. I tell you what, Riyad Mahrez at Leicester, I was a big fan of him at Leicester. I never thought City had signed him, really. I didn't think he was a City sort of signing. Very happy when we did. Very happy when we did. Akanji. Ortega. Laporte. City not even interested in playing it forward anymore, it feels. City have made 436 passes to Burnley's 321. You see there, Burnley made 100 less passes than City thereabouts. But they've tried. They've really tried to get the ball. Akanji wide to Mahrez. Oh, Mahrez with a terrible first touch here. Tries to take it on the left foot. So throw into Burnley. I think City have dropped off now. The 9-0 isn't coming. The 9-0 is not coming. But the 6-0 is there. An Alvarez double. A Haaland hat-trick. Akanji. Bad pass by him into Kyle Walker. Burnley try to switch the play, which they do. Al-Khadil here. Forward by the centre-back. Into Ashley Barnes. Back out to Connor Roberts. Well, Burnley have played more of their game later on. Looks like no 9-0 for Ridai, but he was right with the Haaland hat-trick and Alvarez 2 goals. Still big. Quite right, Ashton. I mean, the fact that he predicted a Haaland hat-trick and Alvarez with 2 goals. He's right again. The other players let him down, maybe. Roberts. Good play by Burnley. Obafemi off this right-hand side. Good pressure from Gomez. Bastien. Roberts. I'll take 6-0 to Ultra Gamer. Certainly. I'll take a win any which way, Ultra Gamer. As long as City win, I'm happy. Ortega's come out here from goalkeeper and plays it long, does Ortega. Switch towards Palmer. Headed away by Burnley. Calvin Phillips loses out here. Kyle Walker comes out to it. Wins it back for his side. Mahrez. Mahrez. Good play by Riyad Mahrez. Skipping through the challenges. Mahrez. On to Sergio Gomez. Wide to Cole Palmer. Skips inside Palmer. De Bruyne. De Bruyne. Oh, beats 2 or 3 challenges. Then he's fouled by Cullen. Free kick Manchester City. It's brilliant from Kevin De Bruyne. He looks increasingly tired as the game goes on. What I've noticed today is a lot of bloody knees in the City team. Knees covered in blood. Maybe that pitch is a little bit too dry. De Bruyne taken down by Cullen. Free kick Manchester City. Split on the knee of Kevin De Bruyne. Who's felt that one, KDB, as he limps away. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He's not going to take this free kick because he is injured, but we will talk about City also. 13 goals in our last 2 games. Incredible, isn't it? And 8 of those scored by Haaland. 8 scored by Haaland in our last 2 games. So free kick Manchester City here in the 86th minute. Phil Foden, Kyle Walker over it. I think it'll be an in-swinger from Phil Foden, personally. I can't see Walker taking this. Well, it is Walker. Lays it across the box. Mahrez. Mahrez. Lose it on the edge of the box here. Burnley counter. Walker can't win it off Bastien. Counter for Burnley off the heels of Bastien or Obafemi. I can't tell the difference. They both wearing a number 6 on the back of the shirt. The far post, Michael Obafemi. This is certainly Obafemi who can't control it. And City get numbers back and bodies back now. What a waste of a free kick though. Zauri, tackled by Kevin De Bruyne, playing like a defensive midfielder. De Bruyne skips away from Zauri. Kevin De Bruyne is still going here. Pushed and pulled in a sliding challenge here. And Kevin De Bruyne is not happy here. Zauri kicking him from behind. Pushing and pulling on KDB. Kevin De Bruyne wasn't happy. The referee gives a throw-in. De Bruyne's been kicked all the way through there and he gives a throw-in. Walker. Back he goes to Akanji. Well, the game is certainly the last 10 minutes dipped off completely. And City looking full control. Of course, it's 6-0. City don't look interested in trying to score more goals, do they? They're happy now. Haaland and De Bruyne having a bit of a chat on the bench. Haaland has been given man of the match here by Jermaine Genius, I think it is. Ortega. Laporte. Will City make it 7? Laporte puts it out of play here. I don't know why. But is there an injury? Well, Kevin De Bruyne, I think, has picked up an injury. And he's coming off. Well, I hope Kevin De Bruyne is going to be okay. But he's limping off here, KDB. And he is to be replaced. So off comes the number 17, Kevin De Bruyne. It's replaced by Jack Grealish. Let's hope the issue isn't too much. I think it's just maybe a knock by De Bruyne. I think he'll be okay. Yeah, De Bruyne, I think, signals to the bench that it's just a knock. And Jack Grealish on for Manchester City here. For the final few minutes, our number 10. Grealish playing in the midfield, is he as well? Jack Grealish in the midfield. You'd love to see it. Wish we'd see it more. Ortega into Akanji. Across to Laporte. Here is Walker. I mean, Grealish might never even get a touch of the ball here. Because City might just be happy to play it around the back. Laporte. Akanji. Into Jack Grealish. Grealish picks up ahead of Palmer. And that Grealish goes to Akanji. Amel Akanji across to Aymeric Laporte. Laporte still. Akanji. Bringing the ball forward for City from the back here. Akanji still. Aymeric Laporte. Akanji. Wide left to Palmer does he go. Grealish is making a run. Akanji goes into the space to Julian Alvarez. Onto Sergio Gomez. Palmer. Tackled here, throwing Manchester City. Ashley Barnes wants to throw in for Burnley, but I just don't know how he even can appeal that one. Rodri and Haaland are having a bit of a laugh on the bench together here. A talk between the two. Grealish. Akanji. Walker. Wide to Mahrez. Tackled here, and Mahrez puts it out of play for a throw into Burnley. 2 added minutes here for Manchester City to play. 6-0 up against Burnley. And they are strolling to the next round of the FA Cup. Will it be the quarterfinals next? Semi-finals next? I've no idea. Forward by Burnley. Laporte in there. A little kick on Laporte by Ashley Barnes. And I think the first yellow card, the only yellow card of the game, is going to be shown here. Ashley Barnes to get it. Stones, Haaland and Rodri having a good chat and a laugh on the bench. Looks like Aymeric Laporte will be okay. And a yellow card for Ashley Barnes, a little kick out here. Great commentary, said Andrew. Thank you very much. Who's also in the FA Cup? I forgot who are the main favourites. I've no idea. Maybe Chelsea are in the FA Cup, Ashton. Brighton certainly are. United are also in the FA Cup's Ultra Gamer yet. You're welcome, Matt. MK. Gomez. Palmer. Back he goes to Aymeric Laporte. 1 minute left to see out this game for City. Akanji. Phillips. Back to Akanji. Into Ortega again. I think it's going to be 6-0. I think Rideye with the Haaland hat-trick and the Alvarez double was the best prediction he's got. But in terms of score, the 9-0 isn't going to come out. Apart from United, we can easily beat the teams left and it's his Ultra Gamer. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think City should beat United though. Great commentary, great chat. Have a nice weekend. Thank you very much, Ashton. Thank you very much to everyone for joining. It's been great to have you all here. The full-time whistle is gone. City are winners. Thank you for joining us here on the commentary. We'll be back for the next away game, which I'm not sure when it is. Whenever the next away game is, I will be here. I will be live. And I will be doing commentary to join with you guys. It's been great to have you as always. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all next time. Don't forget, you can join the WST Membership Club, of course, for early extra content. And you can also go to our WST store, get yourself maybe an Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez jumper t-shirt of the players that played well today. We'll see you guys next time.